John, we were supposed to watch Babysitter's Club 2. Did you do that?
No, I just watched the first one that we weren't supposed to watch.
Okay.
We were supposed to watch it. We were supposed to do an episode on it. We just lost Eric in the middle of it all, and the rest of us didn't watch then.
This is why I watch things in advance.
Yeah, so wise, Jen.
This is why I wait until 5 minutes before the episode to watch my stuff.
Chances of watching it during the podcast.
So many of our favorites to watch. Oh, look, now they're being bashed. I guess that's what we should expect on the Bullied Nostalgia Podcast.
John, what did you just send us? Do you mean to send us this?
Was it me or my bots?
It looks like you, but can never be too sure.
Yes, it's just so you can all mark the anniversary on July 19th that it's been 1 year since I watched The Babysitter's Club.
Wow.
I literally can't view that image, John.
It feels like this is the kind of thing where you just uploaded that file from a Samsung fridge. Where?
Yeah, it's a Samsung fridge file, so what?
That would be really cool if everybody communicated in Samsung fridge files.
I think the world would be a better or worse place if everyone had to text only via fridge.
If you could only message people from your fridge,
Mm-hmm.
then people wouldn't be as controlled by their phones. It'd be like, hit me up on my
Controlled
fridge.
by your fridges.
Yeah. Doom scrolling through the vegetables.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, Star Warriors of all ages. Welcome to the Bullied Nostalgia Podcast. If you've never joined us before, the Bullied Nostalgia Podcast is where we look at media and properties from our childhoods and view them with newer eyes. I am your host for today, Chance, and I am joined by my brother, Kylan.
Hi.
I'm joined by my dad, Tim.
Hey, howdy, hey.
And I'm joined by my Uncle John.
Or is it Kirby who swallowed your Uncle John and looks like him now?
It would look like just the very top half of your head placed
Yeah.
on Kirby's body,
He
I
probably
think.
would have got John's beard.
Yeah, it would have been a beard on
Oh, the beard actually is a good call. The beard and a Land Before Time teeth.
What's Kirby's superpower once he swallowed me?
He would be 178 pounds
You can
and
pull
have...
out 7 Land Before Time VHSs. I was gonna say it's the name you should know when you said my name, but then instincts kicked over and I just said what I always say, which is hi.
Praise Beethoven. I mean, hi.
Yeah.
Yes, for those of you wondering what it is we watched today, we watched Kirby Right Back at Ya, the early 2000s animated Kirby cartoon. Or, as it's known in Japan, Hoshi no Kirby.
Or Kirby of the Stars.
Kirby of the Stars, that's right. Kylan, why don't you give us a rundown on what Kirby Right Back at Ya is all about?
Wait, who is Kirby?
Kirby is a little pink puffball who has the ability to eat things and gain their powers and who is always hungry. He ends
And
up
it's a baby.
crash landing down onto planet Popstar where he meets Tiff and Tuff and all other townsfolk as they exist under the rule of the tyrant King DDD. King DDD, for some reason, really wants to buy monsters off the dark web, and so NME ends up sending him monsters, and Kirby always has to take them down. He meets up with Meta Knight and Kabu, who always end up helping him on his journeys.
And Escargoon, who's a snail.
Who's Yes Man.
Or Sneevely.
Silverhawk reference.
Yeah, that's Kirby.
Thanks, Kai. Before we get into Dad's rundown on stats or history, this show, surprisingly, was not very successful. Do you guys think that's warranted or not?
Sorry, I just have to ask. Was this a universal thing or was it just the version that we watched? It was not fully translated.
You
Okay.
guys watched it in half Japanese?
No. It would be completely English, and then there would just be one random line from one random character who just suddenly started speaking in Japanese. It was so weird.
It was 95% English and then 5% Japanese.
Funny enough, most of the Japanese scenes were rapid fire as King DDD was doing commercials in the TV episode. So it'd be like a normal English commercial and then some random Japanese commercial. And it
actually
felt natural.
Yeah, I bought in more watching Japanese TV than I would have. For listeners, we watched episodes 1, 3, 6, 9, and 11 Why those ones specifically?
Those are the ones I remember most.
And we watch them on the Internet Archive, which is a great website to find old media that no one really has ownership of so that you can view it on the internet. And for the most part, it's high quality uploads.
But sometimes it's Japanese.
Sometimes it's Japanese.
Did they make an Everybody Loves Raymond joke in the Japanese?
There's
I didn't
no
even
way.
pick up that in the original.
So, Chance, you want to know some first impressions?
Yeah.
It's very much an anime. It has a lot of those qualities. Bears some resemblances to some of the popular westernized animes like Pokemon or
No, this
Dragon
was
Ball
a
Z.
Yu-Gi-Oh! For sure.
Some of the things that comes with that is characters over narrating what's happening. Kirby acted a lot like
A baby?
Pikachu character
Oh.
would. I'll get into it, but there was some cool elements about the show. Probably the greatest weak point was the computer graphics. I think it's tough because there's 100 episodes total. We only listened to episodes up to episode 11. So it's hard to say if in the first 11 episodes they're just getting you into the routine of the show, but it did seem quite repetitive. The episodes we watched really just focus on a new monster every time, pretty much rinse and repeat.
In the tail end of the series, they do end up taking the fight to characters like Enemy or Nightmare.
Why do they call him NME? He is Nightmare.
I think his name is Nightmare, but his corporation is called Nightmare Enterprises. So it's the same way you'd say, oh, we're taking the fight to Apple, you know? Yeah. Dad, what was your first impressions?
I mean, this is not really my first impressions because I was around when you guys watched these when you were little. So I was aware of this show. It is competent enough. I don't really have a glowing review for it, but I also can see the enjoyment. It does feel like an early 2000s anime because that's what it is. And there's a lot of crossover with that too. The guy who did the voices for DDD and Escargoon, his most famous role is Giovanni in Pokemon. And the girl who voiced Chef Kawasaki, her most famous role is Meowth. 4Kids was hiring the same people to do these shows. And John essentially brought up the same thing every week. They bring in a new monster and Kirby's got to beat him. Yeah, that's the gist of it. But there's nothing wrong with that formula if it works. I don't love watching a baby roll around a whole bunch, get kicked and punted and squished. Whoever was inspired to make this show, I don't get it.
So much.
He's literally an infant, but he's like an invulnerable infant, so it's somehow okay.
Well, you can get tired.
Yeah, there's literally a line where Tiff goes, oh, he's just a baby Star Warrior. And then they laugh, and DDD explodes out of the bush in a tank and hits him with a car. Hits that baby with a tank.
Apart from that weirdness, the show is good. It's enjoyable.
I did find it a bit jarring that for about 85% of each episode, Kirby is pretty much useless. He's just there to be cute or be beat up. And then for maybe a 3-minute segment, he becomes Omega, all-powerful, godlike powers, and then loses them, and then it all starts over.
I believe you mean Beethoven-like powers.
It's your classic Power Rangers.
I don't know, though. That's actually what I would qualify as making it different. If you want to go watch somebody's content is good, go watch Unraveled. He has a video on Kirby. The whole premise is that Kirby is quite possibly one of the most powerful beings in fiction, and it's also the dumbest creature in fiction. Kirby doesn't want for anything. Half of the series is him falling asleep. It's like we've given this baby an atom bomb, and we're praying it doesn't flick the switch and all of a sudden kill everything.
You're right in that the show's different. I just don't know if it's a good difference, because the protagonist of the show, Kirby, doesn't speak and isn't necessarily front and center all the time. So what you end up having is people around him like the little girl Tiff, who's essentially telling you what Kirby's thinking and feeling and how we should be thinking and feeling. And so it makes for a very interesting show where the protagonist isn't really a protagonist, but they're kind of there. So
Kirby's more like a force of nature.
Yeah, that is true. And D probably gets more screen time than Kirby.
Absolutely. Chance, now that we've given our first impressions, can you give me your first impression, your first voice impression of Meta Knight, please?
Oh, I love Meta Knight. I especially love the way he goes, Kirby.
Thank you.
My favorite thing in the world. But with that, Dad, do you want to give us some stats about this show?
Sure. So Chance mentioned that this is from the early 2000s. This show ran in North America from September 2002 to November 2006 and did 4 seasons. Chance, what can you tell us about Sakurai?
Masahiro Sakurai?
Yes.
Well, Masahiro Sakurai is the father of 2 of Nintendo's flagship series, that being the all-beloved Super Smash Bros. And, less well-known, he is the creator of Kirby.
Yeah.
This is most of the extent of my history, but I believe Kirby initially was named after Nintendo of America's lawyer.
That's right, John Kirby.
John Kirby, that's the one.
Yeah, his original name was supposed to be Popopo, which I guess makes a lot more sense when his arch nemesis is DDD. But as Chance said, they named him after John Kirby, who was the lawyer for Nintendo who helped them win the lawsuit against Universal and keep the name Donkey Kong. Kirby was a video game that Sakurai made on the original Game Boy. I had Kirby's Dream Land back in the day. I played that game quite a bit. I was pretty good at it.
Yes, that.
Did you not know that I was a Kirby OG?
No, I just don't think there's ever been anything about the first Kirby game that appealed to me.
Wow. Do you guys feel that? All of a sudden, Kai respects me so much more?
I just insulted the game that you said you played.
I also played that game a ton, and I think it ended up getting lost in Kelowna. We went for a visit and never found it again. But there's a lot of classic boss fights in that game, and I also think that Wispy Woods is better animated in the original Game Boy game than he is in this TV show.
I don't think he's in this TV show.
Yeah, that's taboo.
Whatever a tree to the tree in this show.
That is a rock.
The tree in the
I don't think he's a tree.
John, that is a rock. So Kaboo
He's a big
is
statue.
a big stone statue with hollow eyes and a mouth. In the Kirby games, he is an enemy that will roll at you, sliding, and then he dies in 1 or 2 hits.
That's
in this
what he
TV
is?
show, yeah, Chance, he's just the regular enemy. In the same way that
so
the
funny.
Cappies of Cappy Towns are little mushroom guys that move their hands up and down and jump as their mushroom hat flies off. They really take a lot of liberties with this show.
Well, are they liberties? The reason why I asked Chance who Sakurai was is because Sakurai, the creator of Kirby...
He was the head of this TV show, right?
That's
he was
right.
the one who came up with all the ideas.
He was heavily involved in this TV show's creation. So
This is all straight from his brain.
That's right. This is what he was really envisioning when those little mushrooms were jumping up and down and their hats were popping up and down.
And he really did envision Rick the hamster as an Australian.
So, yes, Sakurai was working on this TV show and Smash Bros. Melee at the same time. So that carbon dates things a little bit if you'd like to wrap your head around it. The airing of episodes in North America made no sense whatsoever because rather than trying to tell a competent story like in Japan, they wanted to cash in with episodes. So episodes were released in alignment with big things happening in the world. It was more important to put an episode that was Christmas-like around Christmas time. They had an episode called A Novel Approach, which was a parody of Harry Potter. So they had to save that episode for when there was a Harry Potter movie coming out. And they had episodes about Crisis of the Warp Star. And so they pushed those ones to come out at the same time as Kirby's Air Ride. And so watching it on TV, it really didn't make any sense. They tried so hard to do that in the later episodes to make a story that tracked it all, they had to do flashbacks with voiceovers so that you could understand the trajectory of the story because they were so committed to putting these episodes out in alignment with what was happening rather than what their intended order was.
Dad, this is off topic, but I've noticed that every time you say Kirby Air Ride, you say Kirby's Air Ride, which is like saying Mario's Land 3.
Or Mario's Party.
Yeah, Mario's Party, Mario's Kart. Let's play some Mario's Kart.
That still makes sense.
Mario's Tennis.
And it's different than normal tennis.
He invented tennis, so...
No, his version of tennis has piranha plants.
Yes, and they call it Mario's Tennis Racket 2. And
Mario's Tennis is where you kill people you beat.
Yes, that's true.
In all fairness, Link's Awakening is a thing.
Yeah, because he awakens.
Yeah, and Mario Tennis is.
Do we want to talk about the animation?
It's very weird, because there are things that are 2D animated.
The CG animation is probably the minority.
Yeah, it's just, the CG animation looks really bad.
I don't know. I think you can find that certain characters always appear in CG and certain characters always appear in 2D animation.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
King
I think
DDD
the ones that are most commonly CG'd are DDD's mouth, but then eventually his whole body, and Escargoon. They seem to get it a lot, and I just so much prefer the regular animation. Supposedly, they were trying to use it to make the characters more expressive.
I'm pretty sure I have the most experience with anime, and a lot of shows recently have tried to dip into CG animation, and most of the time it's gone very poorly. However, there have been a couple successes. Shows like Beastars have been doing exceptionally well using CG. And I was thinking about it while watching this. A lot of the CG looks very bad, but I would say that a majority of the time Kirby doesn't look half bad. He looks expressive.
Can we just talk about the cooking episode, the monster they fight? It's this green monster. That has to be the most ill-conceived and poorly animated
That episode
creation of all
was
time.
bad.
So Kai is our local Kirby expert. Is that
I've never seen that in my life.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. Chance was like, I'm going to do the cooking episode. I have so much nostalgia for it. And I watch it and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening.
Really? You don't remember that episode at all?
No, I remember Chef Kawasaki trying to kill Kirby.
The cooking episode it looks pretty bad.
Tim mentioned Kylan being a Kirby expert. I don't remember seeing you guys watching this show, but I do remember Kai getting really into Kirby. Kai, was there a reason why you latched on to this more? I remember your Kirby stuffy and all that stuff.
When I was a kid, I just picked things and I liked them. But I do think Kirby is kind of weird and interesting. The fact that Kirby Air Ride 2 came out recently, and there are a bunch of weird and random characters in that. They've got Taranza, who is a spider who was trying to kill Kirby for the sake of the Queen Bee, but accidentally unleashed an immortal entity. They have Megalore, who Kirby helped, but accidentally released an evil entity. I mean, there's a lot of godlike evil demons and stuff like that.
Beethoven-like.
Yeah, Beethoven-like, thank you. Which is, it's really weird, but you gotta look up the Kirby flowcharts. I love them so much.
So Kai, you used to play a lot of Kirby games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even pretend to know all the names, but Kirby Squeak Squad comes to mind.
Squeak Squad is incredible, and I think Chance played that one more than I did, but yes.
I don't know, you guys. I would maybe counter. I might have played more Kirby games than Kylan.
That might be true. I played through all of Star Allies. I don't know if you did.
Kai's played a lot of the newer stuff, but I might have played
We might be
more
equals.
than that. So possible.
Yeah, it's weird. Kirby has always been in the background. Oh, we played through the Mario games, but Kirby was always there. I played through all of Superstar. I played through all of Triple Deluxe.
Well, I also remember Kirby was part of the original Smash Bros. Game, which was just mind-blowing at the time, that video game. Kirby was like the sheep character.
Yeah, it was the children's option.
Cheat, you would just fly around and then fall down as a rocker with your sword on other people. They balanced him out in future Smash Bros. Games, but he was pretty cheap in the first one.
If our listeners are completely confused about the gibberish that is coming out of our mouth, Super Smash Bros. Was a video game that Sakurai came up with in the late 90s, and it essentially allowed you to play as Mario and fight against Star Fox or Donkey Kong.
If they don't know what Smash Bros. Is, they don't know what Star Fox is.
He was just in the most recent Mario movie, actually.
Okay, did they know that was a game if they didn't know what Smash Bros was?
What's a Mario?
Yeah, what's a Mario?
It's me, a Mario.
You're Mario?
I have the tennis.
You own Mario
It's my tennis. Yeah, so Mario's Tennis.
Yeah, so you can play as Mario from Mario's Tennis and against Star Fox from the new Mario's Tennis movie.
If there's anyone who doesn't know what tennis is a sport.
If there's anybody who doesn't know what sports are, it was a game invented by humans where they hit a ball around.
Okay, we've lost the thread.
Right, so Smash Bros. Was this fighting game where you could use strictly Nintendo properties. So Sakurai, honestly, I don't even know if Kirby would have made the cut if it weren't for the fact that he made that game.
Oh, that's most of that. A lot of the Smash Bros. Stuff is just Sakurai doing whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And we do kind of love him for it, honestly. The willingness to put random stuff in his game that nobody would ever think of is one of the reasons that Sakurai is such a good game maker.
All of his stuff is very high quality, including this cartoon!
Yeah!
My favorite episode was the DDD TV.
Yes.
Where DDD, he's definitely my favorite character in the show. He's kind of a buffoon bad guy. He always come up with dumb ideas to try and take out Kirby. So this time, he puts a TV in every town member's home so that he can brainwash them to get Kirby out of town. But part of the episode is just watching all these parody TV shows and commercials that he's made, which are a lot of fun. And the episode also has this message at the end to think critically about what you watch on TV. Yeah, that's my highlight of this experience.
Yes, that was my favorite episode too. As we've already mentioned, having a third of those commercials be in Japanese is even better. So an even better viewing experience. It gives this more surreal, chaotic energy. Also, my favorite line was in that episode. One of the main kids comes into the room and her parents are brainwashed by the TV, or obsessed with TV at that point, hard to say. And she says, "TV will rot away your brain cells." And her dad's like, "That's okay. I actually haven't been using my brain cells."
Yeah.
Yeah. That episode speaks to something in this show. Its strongest aspects are a couple members of the supporting cast. Because that's the only episode we watched where Kirby doesn't absorb an enemy and then use their powers. That episode, it's supported entirely by DDD, who's just the best. He's probably my favorite part of the show. And I already mentioned how much I love Meta Knight.
I did write some notes while I was watching, and the fact that Meta Knight and Kirby are the same species, like, we know that in concept, but we never see Meta Knight eat anything. And Kirby is so brain damaged that the only commonality that they have is that they're both around.
Oh, in the episode where Meta Knight is fighting Kirby, Kabu tells Tiff that all the stuff he knows about Kirby is because Meta Knight told him.
Yes.
So I think the assumption is that Meta Knight is ancient, very old, whereas Kirby is much younger. Also, the way Meta Knight talks about Kirby makes it sound like each of the Star Warriors are their own thing. It's less of a species as much as it is like a classification of creature.
I always interpreted this, in this show at least, it being their role. Like, obviously, they're both Kirby-shaped, and they both have a Kirby face.
If it's not Kirby, then why Kirby-shaped?
And, you know, power levels or whatever, Kirby's fighting gods all the time. I think, canonically, Meta Knight is the universe's strongest warrior, because he fights Galacta Knight. He makes a wish to a god, to a Beethoven, and says, "Hey, can I fight the universe's strongest warrior?" He wins, and then that warrior becomes Morpho Knight and wins against that too.
Yeah, so I read a little bit about this stuff online. I mean, there's huge gaps in my understanding because I was just researching something that I don't really understand. But my takeaway was Nightmare created all of these monsters, and some of those monsters rebelled against him. And those are the Star Warriors. And in an effort to beat Nightmare, they bred a super being that was supposed to defeat him. However, he wasn't supposed to be used or go into combat for another 200 years. and his ship faultily took him to a monster to fight as a baby.
So, this is the thing that I struggle with in the lore. There are flowcharts, and I talk about them all the time because I love them. Because it's this massive web of hundreds of things that have hundreds of lines connecting them, and it doesn't make any sense. But the understanding is there is a big bad that is in multiple of the Kirby games. Zero. Supposedly, if you follow the chain up, Kirby is Zero, because the heart of an ancient evil entity has the same face as Kirby.
And Kirby is not a baby in the video games. That is where this cartoon and the video games differ right off the hop. So it would be easy to say his origin is different as well. But in that first episode, we got to see our Kirby meme. We got to see Kirby fall off a cliff.
So good. It's just like immediate too. There's no prompting. He just kind of gets whacked away and falls down the pit instantly. It's so funny.
So
the first thing they do when they see a baby is throw him off a cliff.
And then later they hit him with a tank.
We referenced that meme in the Ewoks episode last season.
Does that mean that the whole thumbnail is going to be Kirby falling down a pit?
Well, I've already made the thumbnail,
Dang.
so I don't think so, but
Bottom left corner?
we can see.
The left corner is going to be John's face on Kirby.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see.
Unfortunately, that's too funny that
We'll
you have
see
to
what I
listen.
can do.
The thing that I love the most about this show is the theme song. I Will Keep Docking This Hill, Right Back At You, is one of the top 5 cartoon theme songs ever. It's amazing. But I wanted to show you, in contrast, the Japanese version. Kirby of the Stars has its own theme song that's just called Kirby. It's like Tokyo City Pop. So you guys can take a little sec, listen to that, have like a little music pause in the podcast so our listeners can hear it or something.
It's very good. I do like that.
Maybe this is nostalgia blindness. What do other people think of the theme song?
This Kirby one sounds like any anime at the time. Right Back At You has a very distinct sound.
Wow, it sounds like an insult.
Well, but that's good.
It's different.
It is different. Right Back At You.
That is not what it sounds like, but whatever.
I love the heavy jazz and trumpets. It's just so much fun.
He comes right back at you. He's more than you think. He's got maximum pink. Kirby's the one.
Yeah, Maximum Pink. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that. When John and I had the original Kirby on Gameboy,
Great.
he was white because the co-creators could not agree on a color. They wanted either pink or yellow. And when they couldn't get their act together, they just said, okay, don't give him a color. The original Game Boy, everything was green anyways. So without that box to show you what color he was supposed to be, it didn't really matter.
I mean, that first game didn't really get Kirby right in the first place because he couldn't copy abilities.
Wow. Everybody's got to start somewhere.
Maybe the other games got Kirby wrong.
You want to say that every other one of the games got him wrong? I mean, Kirby Pinball, Kirby Cursive Drawing, Kirby Cursive Painting.
Mass Attack.
Yeah, Kirby Mass Attack. Wrong.
Remember who you're talking to. You are talking to Kirby with John's face right now. If anyone knows which games did it right, it would be the protagonist of
John,
those games.
What color are you?
Maximum Pink.
That's what I thought.
Why don't we move this over to closing, you guys?
I have a quote.
Okay, give us a quote.
You useless little clown. That's all. I just thought it was really funny that...
What?
I just like that in the middle of one of these episodes, somebody just gets called a useless little clown. I don't even remember. It was probably La 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 and Lo Lo Lo.
I don't think that even counts as a quote.
Yes, it does.
You useless little clown is hilarious.
Yeah.
I did.
Watch out for useless
Since-
little clowns, I guess.
So, after playing the original Kirby on the Game Boy, my closest friend at the time, who was my neighbor, We played the Kirby Superstar all the time on his Super
Yes.
Nintendo. And I remember as a kid being confused because about half of the time when Kirby swallows something, he takes on its appearance. And then the other half of the time he swallows something, it doesn't look like that enemy at all.
Like, which ones?
You mean like in this TV show where he swallowed a sword and then he got a hat with pointy parts on it?
Or when he swallows this moon staff and he gets a hat with blades on the
Okay,
side.
that one doesn't make sense, and I will concede that, because they just needed to get Cutter in there somehow. I think it was supposed to be because it was a crescent-shaped object that cuts things.
Well, in the video games, there's a lot of times where he sucks up something, absorbs it. And if you had shown me a chart of all the bad guys in all of Kirby's outfits, I could not have matched up the outfit with the bad
I don't know. I think most of them fit pretty well. You eat something fiery and you get fire on your head. You eat something electric-y and you get sparks on your head. You eat something winged and you get wings
On your head.
Some of them don't fit, but it's just matching the element to the enemy for the most part.
You eat a wheel and you get a wheel on your head.
No, you get... Does he even change appearances?
He gets an engine.
He gets a baseball cap.
It depends on which one. He does get a baseball cap in some of them. If he's sitting on a wheelie, then he gets a Smash Bros. Wario hat.
Is this from Wario's Wear or
Yes, it is what Wario wears, if you will.
from Wario's Land?
From Wario's wear, not Wario's land. It's what Wario wears in Wario's wear.
I don't want to take control of this from you, Chance, but Kai, in a show that is all about eating, do we have a cookie?
No.
What?
He doesn't eat any cookies.
I'm sure he eats some cookies.
No. He eats a table full of dinner.
But could have cookies.
There weren't cookies. That was a turkey dinner.
Okay, I have a serious question about your rating system, Kai. Is your rating system metaphorical, or are you just looking for cookies in movies now?
Kirby doesn't eat cookies in the games even, because it's a preset set of stock photos that for some reason are in all of his games. It'll be a picture of cherries, a picture of a steak dinner. There's no cookies in Kirby. Anyways, yeah, I don't have a cookie ranking for this. I don't really care enough to make one. That's my cookie ranking. It's inconsistent. This show isn't very good. I'm not blind to it. There is a lot of fun stuff behind it, but it is very freak of the week. The characters are the best part of it, and half the characters suck. I do not care about Tiff and Tuff. I do not care about La 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 and Lo Lo Lo. I do not care about Kirby. But Meta Knight, his goons, Rick, DDD, and Escargoon, those characters are fun.
John, what about you?
I think that Kirby is a cool property. I think it's cool that in the early 90s they were able to creatively make this world that has evolved over time. I like how this show, sometimes the violence of it, in still kind of a kid-friendly way, like bad guys get cut in half, or sheeps when they get eaten, you see their skeletons. But the things I like most about this show are how it reminds me of a property that I like. It reminds me, I like Kirby, but the show itself, I think I could have gotten around it if it didn't have all the CG, but I love Kirby. Kirby right back at ya. I'd rather watch any other anime that I was into as a kid.
Dad, what about you?
Yeah, Kirby, we didn't have a lot of Game Boy games when I was growing up. Tetris came with the Game Boy. We bought Super Mario Land, whatever the Game Boy one is called. Super hard.
Not very good.
Your fireball
It was so good.
bounces off the screen,
Tyler,
making
you
it...
need to get right back off our big Game Boy nostalgia.
I honestly don't even know off the top of my head what other games we had except Kirby. So Kirby was in that Game Boy most of the time. I mean, later on I'd get Pokemon. That was much, much later. So Kirby has a special part in my childhood. I got to experience this show when you two were little, so I kind of knew what I was going into watching it now. Sure, I hadn't seen it in 15 years, but I still knew what the show was. I was watching it as an adult the first time around.
Yeah, that reminds me, Dad. I couldn't remember. Was it you who introduced this show to Kai and I?
Oh, I'm not sure.
We watched it on YouTube, didn't we?
I remember watching it on YouTube, but also the show came out before I was even born.
Yeah, we watched it when it was already media that nobody cared about.
Well, no, it would have been playing in reruns on Fox Kids. It was still something that Fox Kids had paid for licensing to until 2009 or something like that. So it was still readily available on TV. But yeah, if you guys watched it on the internet, that also makes sense. I'm with the vibe here. DDD is the best part of this show. Escargoon is his little evil sidekick. And Kirby is probably the least interesting or likable part about this show. He's just a baby that is immortal. I actually kind of like the idea that he's this force of nature. And as John already talked about earlier in this episode, having his intentions and his thoughts interpreted by the secondary characters is an interesting idea for a TV show. Who can know the essence of Beethoven? But even though that's a neat concept, it just doesn't age very well that you're watching a baby. Mm-hmm. I do also kind of like the evil monsters for sale every week.
I do think that's kind of a fun way of doing the villain of the week is instead actually make it...
They purchase a monster
sold.
every week?
Yeah, and they get ripped off every time by how it doesn't work the way that they want it to.
But the flip is, as has already been mentioned, my favorite episode that we watched was the one where they didn't buy a monster of the week, where they just watch TV. Yeah, this show is good. If you have nostalgia for it, I don't know when or if I would ever watch this show again. But if one of you wanted to watch it, I wouldn't mind watching it with you.
Yeah, sorry, this is to the group here. When the DDD TV episode came on, I was 100% expecting my father to be brainwashed for this episode and start talking about how cool and great King DDD is. It's like, oh, are you going to get brainwashed for the next episode? And he's like, I don't know why I would. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, I have no reason to. But didn't you do that for the last episode for no reason? And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay.
He says that now. In the next episode, he's going to think it's so funny to be brainwashed.
Yeah, get Kirby out of town. Get Kirby out of town.
Try to think of like penguin puns, I guess. I don't know. I think that's going to be a lot harder. So.
He's just going to be speaking in a Boston accent the whole time. Yeah, I guess I might as well give my closing thoughts. For my rating scale, this is going to be a biased answer. I know that to be the case, but I'd probably give it... I'm opening the gate. I know that my answer is probably tainted by my personal love of the show. I'm not going to fight that.
So what you're saying is that your score for Land Before Time movies is skewed by bias?
No, because I didn't say that it was skewed by bias.
Oh, it's only when you announce it in advance.
Yeah, because I have the courtesy of announcing when that's taking place.
And that's
why
brave.
I've only started doing it now. I think I'd probably give it a -3 or 4 as opposed to just a straight 3 or 4 because a lot of the best parts of this show are its joke potential. Like we mentioned, DDD is the best part of this show. Every time Meta Knight is on screen, they play a guitar. He has such a thick accent. DDD is Boston for no reason at all. We already mentioned the meme in the very first episode of this show. Almost every episode of this show comes with its own silly meme in one way or another because it's just got so much potential for that kind of thing. Is this a great show? No. Do I really like it? Absolutely. So I'd probably give it a -3, maybe even a -4. And that's probably skewed by bias, but I'm unapologetic about it.
I just remember why I quoted "you useless little clown." It's because it is said by NME, and he says it with the same cadence he says everything else. So he's like, it's because nobody uses you, you useless little clown. And I just thought that that was really fun.
Well...
So for our listeners, by the time this episode comes out, we will be closing our polls for our next episode. So yes, if you haven't voted yet,
you have 12 seconds.
Click in the bio or the description, or there should be a link somewhere that leads you to a vote. and cast your votes.
Please, I don't want to watch anything other than Clutch Powers. That is my life.
Well, you better get your bots on it.
You got it, boss.
If you haven't voted yet, we are voting between Lego Clutch Powers, Mom and Dad Save the World, and Speed Racer.
Ooh.
So that'll be our next
and
episode.
What website is that poll on, Dad?
Check the description if you are on YouTube.
Yes, I have links for it, hopefully in most streaming places, but the poll is hosted on our YouTube page, so you can check that out.
Just look up Bullied Nostalgia on YouTube.
There shouldn't be too many of us.
Oh gosh, I'm on this YouTube channel. I don't like that.
Like you're subscribed?
No, my face glared right back at me.
Your face glared right back at you.
Neighborhood Ninja.
Oh, that's funny. John, you mentioned having your face on the thumbnail of this episode. How did you feel about having your face on the Bucky O'Hare episode?
I'm just so cute. Just a cute little guy.
Just a cute little guy.
I think any clicks on that episode, they're like, I'll give this cute clown a chance.
I don't like the vote polls, guys. You need to vote for Clutch Powers. Oh my god. It's
What's the polls at right now?
67% Mom and Dad Save the World.
It's how much percent?
67%. Chance, you and I have a combined 33%. He has the other third.
He?
Yeah, he.
I didn't direct anyone to vote for anything.
You also said it was the best one unintentionally, but whatever.
I don't believe I said that. But I put that poll up before our season opened again, before we were talking about it. So a lot of that traffic has actually come from our Reels and our TikToks.
Thank you to the animated legendary Coyote for commenting on this poll. Speed Racer also reminds me of Las Vegas.
Words to live by. Anything you want to say to close it up there, Chance?
Look out for weirdos. Thanks for coming by. Praise Beethoven. Grandma.
You useless little clowns.
Is that what we call our listeners?
Ouch! Welcome to the Bullied Nostalgia Podcast.
And I'm back with my useless little clowns.
Speed Racer also reminds me of Las Vegas.
That's our callback now.
That's our callback for this episode.
The animated legendary Coyote, you can hit us up for a portion of the profits from this episode.
Okay.
Portion of the $0 from this episode.
Yeah, we can split the $0 between us evenly.
Catch you on the flip side, folks.